They say that life is hard, that there's not enough to go around, and that it's not spiritual to want money. And repeatedly, they say to themselves, I'm not good enough. I say that life is filled with possibilities. Abundance is literally all around us. And you being here is more than enough. My name is Arabelle, and my assignment in this life is to question the belief systems, to learn the secrets that are hidden out in the open, and to show others what's possible. Each episode, I bring you a guest or a message that will make you question your choices, challenge your views, dig deep into your beliefs, and wake you up to your truth. Join us as we walk through this thing called life. You ready? Let's do this. Hey, welcome, Sinead. So happy that you are here on this interview series today with me. Before we start, I have a question for you. This is something that I've been really wanting to know whenever I talk to other moms. What does your mornings look like with an 8-month-old?
8 week, not 8 months.
That's right, yes.
Pretty much very different to how it was before I was a mum. It's pretty much attending to him as quickly as you can, obviously, when he wakes up. But after I've given him his first feed, he's kind of like obviously in that drowsy state. Usually has another little nap, and I usually take advantage of that window and I do things for myself. So if that means strapping him to my chest and I go for a beautiful beach walk just to clear my mind, ground myself, put my feet in the ocean, or there could be me sitting here journaling and meditating just in our living room, just again clearing my day and just starting it from a fresh start.
Your mornings definitely sound very different from mine. So there's obviously something that I can learn from you here. The reason why I asked you that question is because for me, you're like one of those super moms, you're achieving so much in your business and you seem so calm and grounded. I'm sure there'll be times that you're frustrated or stressed out or tired or exhausted, that's just part of it. But overall, you definitely don't look like me when Eli was an 8-week-old. Like, I definitely look like a crazy woman running around. So I want to hear, and I'm sure people who are listening or watching this interview would love to know a little bit about your story, who you are, where you're from, what you're doing right now, anything that you would like to share.
I am turning 30 this year. So when I was 20, I actually joined the Royal Australian Navy, and I did 4.5 years in the Navy. I knew when I joined that it wasn't really what I wanted to do. So I just did my time. I signed a dotted line, which was 4 years, and I ended up doing 4.5. But in that time, I joined my first network marketing company. So that's where my online journey began. In saying that, it didn't really align with who I was and where I wanted to go in the future. So that was, I think I would have been 23 when I did join the network marketing company. So it was a while ago. And I lasted about 2 years. And I was pretty much a product user just in that business. I did try and build the business, but it just didn't align with who I wanted to be as a person. So in that space, I became a personal trainer, very into the health and wellness journey. And through that, I thought about doing like YouTubes, creating blogs, podcasts as well. I started writing, I think it was 3 or 4 ebooks just to try and generate money online. But in this day, everybody is just doing the same thing. So you have to make your reality stand out from everyone else. Like, what makes you better than the next person creating another ebook exactly the same as you? Yeah, that was pretty much my online journey before this. And I've been a PT the whole time. So when I left the Navy, I was a personal trainer for 5 years. So last year we fell pregnant unexpectedly, and he's the best thing to ever happen to us. I was a casual pregnant personal trainer, and at that time I was like really overwhelmed because I we didn't know how we were going to survive and bringing up our son in the world that we're living in now. I actually rejoined the same network marketing company the same week that I joined the business that we're in now, and it just didn't align. And then I saw something happen and I jumped over, and we've been in this online platform for 6 months, and we gave birth to our boy in January. So that's pretty much where we were and where we've come from. And now I am going to be a stay-home mum, and I will never have a boss again.
The reason why I really wanted to know the backstory is because whatever it is that we've experienced, or whatever jobs or careers or businesses that we've tried, we've gained a lot of skills and experiences through that. But I feel that when you said your son, Wild, he was an unexpected pregnancy, and for me it's the same too. And the great thing about things happening when you're least expecting it, or when you're not expecting it at all, is it can actually shake you up, to wake you up from your sleep, and then to really look at things, to start looking at and go, you know what, I need to change things. So I know that you've made that leap into this business and created that result, and a lot of success in such a short space of time, which we'll get into in a bit. But what I'd like to know is, I also know that we are who we are today because of the challenges that we've gone through in our lives. So whichever part of your life, whatever challenges that you've gone through, if you'd like to share with us, what I'd like to know is, how did you overcome that? What was it that you experienced, and how are you applying that lesson to everything that you're doing today in your life?
First of all, yes, our pregnancy was unexpected, and it did shake us up massively because we were going in a direction. It was a good direction, don't get me wrong, but growing a human and bringing a baby into the world shifts something inside you, and it makes you want to do better and be better. I think for me, alignment is massive for me. And when I joined the Navy, I did it out of fear. I like letting my family down, because my dad was in the army, my sister was going to uni, my brother was doing an apprenticeship, and I had actually no direction. And that's why I did it. But I didn't do it because I truly wanted to do it. Like, I did it because I was so fearful. And then it just created like a snowball effect. Like, yes, I enjoyed the time while I was in it, but I was so out of alignment with who I was that it just steered me completely off my path. When I got out, I had my voice again. Like, I had choice. So everybody has choice in every situation. And I think when we found out we were pregnant, we had the choice whether to continue living that paycheck to paycheck life, or we could actually do something about it and create a life that we don't want to run away from, or we want to be able to show our son everything that we missed out on as a child. So I think having a voice and choice in every area of your life, I think that's really massive.
I 100% and absolutely agree with everything that you just said. Now, let's talk a little bit about the business that we're in together, but I want to know more around, I know that there are mums watching this or listening this interview, and they, including me, would also want to know, how are you creating a big success? And big is relative, right? But for me, like, you've created really, really huge results in a short period of time, especially for a mom with a newborn. How did you make that happen?
Business is meant to be easy. And I feel like if you're not in a business that doesn't bring you joy or happiness, then you're not living to your full potential. So when this business found me, I automatically knew, like 100%, I was in it. And my partner at the time, he was like, all right, this is going to be your bread and butter. So I just was consistent. I spent 1 to 2 hours a day on it, no matter if I was pregnant, tired, nausea, because I was very sick throughout my pregnancy. But I just knew that being a casual PT wasn't going to get me to where I wanted to be. So in the back of my mind, I just could see, I didn't know if it was going to be a girl or a boy, but I knew that I wanted to be the best mum. And to be the best mum, I needed to be present in his life. So I just made sure that I was doing 1 to 2 hours a day, learning self-development as well, massive, reading podcasts, in order for you to grow, in order for your business to grow, you must grow. So I just really implemented everything into my life.
What I'm hearing from you, I've started hearing that from a lot of people as well. The first part is where when we look back in our life and, you know, all these business ventures or jobs or careers or things that we've done in the past, we did it for out of fear. We did it because we wanted to prove someone else. We did it because we had the fear of missing out, whatever our own reasons were. But it was not because that's what lights us up. That's what, you know, it didn't chose us or we didn't chose it. It was just something that we thought it would be. And that's totally fine because that's part of life, right? But what I'm hearing from you now is when you know that something is in alignment, when you know that this is it, when you know that, and when you are tapped into your intuition, listen to it. Those, I call them the soul nudges. When you listen to those nudges of your soul and when you actually walk that path, then it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be challenging. Yes, it's not always going to be rainbows and sunshines. There will be times that are challenging, but then you have the drive, the willpower, and the heart and the soul backing you up to forge the path forward. That's what I'm seeing with you now as well. And I know that whenever I look at your social media profile, you know, you've got all these amazing posts and content. But the one thing that I want to know is, you know, in terms of creating content, you have amazing content on social media. Now, the word content sounds so boring, but it actually are stories that come from your heart. And so my question is, again, you know, being a mom as well, especially when Eli was 8 weeks old, my brain wasn't even working, let alone create like amazing content like that. So how do you like find that inspiration? How do you find that creativity in order for you to create these heartfelt, soul driven, if you may, content that really speaks to people? And if you can talk a little bit about the discipline side of things as well, that would be amazing.
I believe that the next generation to come through, they're our teachers. I really, really believe that. And I know that since my son Wild's been born, he's taught me more about myself than I've taught myself the whole time I've been alive, and he's only been here for 8 weeks. I personally find the best time to create content is at 2:00 in the morning when I'm breastfeeding him. I'm sitting in complete silence. I have no distractions. It's just me and him connecting on a totally different level. Like you're breastfeeding, you're pretty much coming together as one. I find that right then in that moment, I have all these little informations just come down and I just write them down in my notes. They could be like 10 headings for different stories or different stages throughout my life that I want to like tap into eventually to share. Another really great one is when we go for our morning walks, I like to be grounded. I like to be on the earth. And instead of obviously writing, because I don't take my pen and pad everywhere with me, I voice message. I talk to myself a lot. I get my thoughts out and I just verbalize them, and then I can go back and create. I think really tapping into, if you're a mum and you're watching this, like your child is here to teach you lessons, and it's up to you if you want to allow that gate to open and to receive all those messages, because they're pretty powerful.
I love this. And I hear more than that, which is, you know, not just for moms, but also for other people. Because I know so many people who are in the 9-to-5 career or the careers that they're not loving, and it's pretty much killing them on a daily basis and taking a toll on themselves. And they are creating all these stories and excuses that I don't have time, I don't have this, I don't have that, to create the dream life that I want to live or I want my family to live. To me, what I hear from you, and I've done this myself as well, is there are no excuses. One, if we really allow ourselves to surrender, not in a way of giving up, but in a way of allowing what needs to come in, whether it's just ideas, thoughts, or downloads or messages, whatever you relate to, right? So first is to surrender, and then the next thing is to have that discipline that, okay, this is what I want to create, getting clear on your why and what it is that you want to create, and use every bit of your time that's available to create, like to me, this is just like, this is an investment, this is like, it's accumulating over time, and all these little notes, all these little voice messages that you just gave, they're really amazing ideas. I'm sure people will love that. So to me, it's like, there are no excuses. Do you really want it? How bad do you want it? If you want it, you can find time. You can find time in the toilet. You can find time when you're cooking. So now what I want to ask is, you've been in the business since end of August, pretty much the start of September, and now we're in March, 6 months now, and you have expanded your team and you have created financial results in the business as well. I would like to know, what do you think are the top 3 to 5 things that you did for you to be able to get to where you are now?
I say to everybody, I have 2 things that I say to my team when I have somebody new that joins me, somebody that's been sitting on the fence and they're scared or fearful of doing something that the unknown. And the first thing is start. You won't get anywhere if you don't start. And the second thing is just never give up. Once you start something, just never give up. So they're my top 2. My third one would be consistency. So if you want to change your life, then do something every single day to change your life. And whether that's developing yourself, creating content, posting, getting out in nature, meditating, sitting still with your mind, learning new skills in the back of your business, like being consistent. They're my top 3. And my 4th one would, don't try and be anybody that you're not. Always be yourself, because yourself is so much powerful to the person who's trying to be like you, because they're not like you. Everybody is different. Everyone has their own ability to create, and everybody is gifted with creativity. It's up to you if you want to tap into it or not. So be your authentic self, because that is your biggest superpower.
I know that all of us, whether we're starting a business or whether we're going through some big changes in our lives or just on a daily basis, we all experience to a certain level of doubt and fear, because we're all humans. I would love to know whether you have a process or just something that you intuitively or habitually do when you experience fear and doubt. What do you do to shift that?
That's massive, because even in the last couple of weeks, like, everyone's going to have doubt and everyone's going to have fear. For me, I journal. I write down how I feel and why I feel that and why I've been triggered. It could be like a friend could be like, doesn't support you for what you're doing. Yeah, it just could be like you just have your own limiting beliefs of who you want to be or what you can create. Yeah, I journal, I find out what's triggering, and then I shift that. I shift it, and I can turn those thoughts into positive affirmations, and I continue to tell myself I am worthy of success. I am worthy of time freedom, money freedom, family freedom.
I think we do have the very similar process as well. I do journal a lot, especially, I don't know if it's because I'm very visual. When I see words on paper or on the computer screen, then I can process it even better, just like, reading rather than listening, that kind of thing. So for me, it's like when I journal, then first thing is I get to just let it all out, just vent or just rant or whatever, cry, whatever it is that is blocking, and I let it all out on a paper, and then I get to see clearly. Basically, it's like pouring everything out on a table, and now I get to choose and see what's happening there. And then the next step is for me to really look at, like, how do I want to shift this? Like, what is a deeper story that's connected to this? So this is for people who are listening to this and have never done journaling before and don't know what it is, what it takes or the process is to shift when you are experiencing fear and doubt. I guess for me, I would give a very simple suggestion to start with is just to write it all down, really see what's happening and what's blocking and what's beyond the feeling that you're feeling right now, and then dig deeper into it by actually asking questions as simple like 5 whys. That's like one of the simplest things that you can do. And then you get to really see that if I'm really frustrated in the grocery store, nobody's in the grocery store is pissing me off. There's something beyond that. It might be that, oh, I'm just busy, frustrated at home. Okay, what's beyond that? What's beyond that? Maybe it just is that I haven't had enough sleep. And so now it has nothing to do with the grocery store or anything. I just need to have more sleep. This is a lame example, but you get what I mean.
The other thing I like to do with when I journal, or if I don't know what's wrong, a lot of people put too much time into actually writing good content, I guess, in your journal. Your journal is yours. Like word vomit, like write everything, swear in it, do whatever you want, like just go crazy because that's yours. So you can write whatever it is, and then actually letting your hand free write, and then going back and reading it and going, oh my God, that's triggering me, that's triggering me, that's triggering me. That's what I do.
So now, for those of you who are wanting to start a new business, whether it's an online business or wanting to join this business that we're in, or even just starting something completely new in their life, and they are freaking out. They have this fire, they can feel this spirit knocking from within that this is the time for them to take that leap of faith, leap into the unknown, but they are crippled by their fear and self-doubt, the old patterns. What advice would you give to them in order for them to leap into that next phase of their lives?
I'm the type of person that if I know that it's going to work, I just dive straight in, like both feet. I don't dip my toe in. I go all in. I guess for a lot of people that I talk to in this business wanting to join, and they're fearful, you learn as you go. So just jump in, learn as you go. If you're 100% committed to changing your life, then you'll do it 100%. I think that's really hit home for me with somebody that's just come on into my business. They're fearful. They don't know that they can do this. Believing in yourself is the key to success. You have to believe in yourself 100% wholeheartedly, or you've pretty much failed before you even start. Believe that you can do anything, and you can do anything.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much for sharing everything, Sinead. So now people who are watching or listening, if they want to stalk you, where can they find you?
I am the same through my Facebook and my Instagram. I'm Sinead E. Klaus. So go for it. I do have a business page with my partner as well, which we are Sinead and Nick Krell. But I tend to post mostly on my two personal platforms.
So there will be links to that, to your Instagram and Facebook as well. Thank you so much for being on this interview series, Sinead. I would love to talk to you a lot more, but I will let you go to your baby. And thanks for doing amazing work that you're doing with a little newborn and being such a shining leader. And you're inspiring so many people. And I look forward to connecting with you more.
Thank you so much.